everyone, welcome back to Veteran Nation. And today it's going to be another solo show. But before we get started, I want everyone to go to www.nrnplus.com/VN, and that is our landing page. So please go on there, subscribe. You can get access to other things about this show, as well as you can get access to all the other shows here on NRN. You'll be supporting independent media. Lots of great shows that we have here on the platform. Patriot Housewives is one. Some really great ladies, Rose and Rebecca, run that show. Also, we're doing Military Mondays now here on the network. It's myself and James Dunn. We're both military guys. We're doing our shows here. So if you join, it's $9.95 for the month, or you can pay $79.95 for the full year, get access to all the shows, and yeah, there's just a lot of great things, and you'll be supporting people who create content like myself, and we're all trying to help and get good information out there to people. So with today's show, we're actually going to be calling back to a couple weeks ago. We did a story that was making its rounds about a Marine who had been raped, and she did a very heartbreaking TikTok on it. And I've covered the story. We printed something in for NRN, got it out there. The Marine Corps has responded a little bit, but I really want to take the time today to talk about the veteran response I've seen. There has been no in the middle response. It's been one extreme or the other. Now, I want to preface before we get started into this that there's a couple things we need to make clear. First off, the military is a macho organization. It's a very machismo. It's men dealing with survival, dealing with a lot of very big issues. So it's very much a macho organization. People think that when you say that it's a bad thing. Not necessarily. Not necessarily is it a bad thing. It actually can be a very good thing. There are very good aspects of machismo that, for instance, protecting people. That's a very important thing that falls in line. Survival. That's a very good thing. That falls in line with machismo. But you will find people, it's kind of become this bad word in the last couple of years, and you'll hear toxic masculinity. You won't hear me use that term. I really don't like that term. I don't think it's indicative of anything about the way anything is. Is there bad parts of masculinity out there? Yes. There's a lot of good points too to it. So for me, it's about being a man, and it's about teaching others, teaching other men to be men. And I've spent a lot of hours thinking about this, and I guess I would define it and bring it down to one thing. Being a man is one thing. Taking care of your business. That's how I would define it. If you take care of your business, you're going to be fine. And now that encompasses a lot of things. That means taking care of your family, means taking care of yourself, taking care of your money, taking care of your community. A lot of things. That's what it is to be a man, as I have thought about it and looked at it. The men in my life who taught me how to be a man, without saying it, those were the things that they were doing. So to think that that's toxic in any way would be absolutely wrong. Sorry, Kang the cat is always trying to get on this show. He's a nonstop. He's a camera hound, even though he's a cat. So, but that's what it means to be a man. And I think we do a very bad job in our current society of teaching what should be young men how to be men. They take on what is toxic traits that we have told people, oh, these are the traits that you need to be a man, and they have just kind of bastardized it. So that's how I define being a man: taking care of your business. And when you talk about men and boys don't take care of their business, and there's a lot of grown boys out there. Um, you know, say what you will, one way or the other, but take care of your business. You know, if you have children, take care of your children, take care of your family. If you if you're working at a job, take care of your business. And I think anyone in the military would agree with what I'm saying here. However, the military, especially when we get to the veterans ranks, we are filled with mental illness. I have my issues. I've got a diagnosis of PTSD. Other people have their diagnoses out there, and a lot refuse to get diagnosed. With mental illness, there is, you know, it's just going to be bad traits, bad things happening over and over again without anyone breaking the cycle of negativity, the cycle of depression. You know, there's a lot of different type of cycles out there. And as I do more shows on my PTSD and other people's PTSD, we're going to go through those cycles. And this is important to that video, and you'll see why here in a second. Now, that video, I 100% believe that Marine. I don't know her name. I don't know her rank. Uh, she looks, her age and everything look to be lower enlisted. Uh, I I can't say. She might be an officer. She might be a SAS sergeant. I can't say. I will say this. I believe her. I could take a look at when she was talking. That was someone truly bearing their soul. Um, so yeah, um, I believe that what she was saying. I believe that she was sexually assaulted, um, and I've seen way too much of it in the military to say, nah, I don't believe that. Yes, it happens. It happens much more frequently than any of us would like to admit. Um, but what I started seeing a couple days after my video and article came out was within the veteran ranks, they had gone through this young woman's social media posts. And, you know, uh, several of the things she was doing in those posts were very promiscuous. Um, I mean, she was obviously a woman who was very comfortable and proud of her body. I didn't see any nudes or anything like that, but she talked about how she had sold pictures to somebody. So I'd imagine that there's some out there. You know, that's a totally different debate if we want to get into sex work and is it right for a woman to sell pictures or not. You know, I'm a Christian. I have feelings of it. Other Christians don't agree with me, but here's what I'll say. We are Americans. We are a free society. There are things that we are allowed to do. And, you know, she was uh, doing some of these things. Now, whether or not they were against the UCMJ, that's not for me. It's not for me to decide. That all is for a lawyer. That's for a commander if they want to pursue that. Maybe she was brought up on charges. Maybe that she was counseled. I don't know. I can say that it looks like there were posts and stuff out there to show that those existed. Um, but I don't know if it was ever handled militarily. There's been other cases that I have spoke on publicly of Marines doing similar. I don't. I want to protect people's anonymity, but there, for instance, the Marine Corps Times has outed people in a very unethical way. So I really don't want to get into those other arguments. But she, in this case of this video, GWAT thought was her username on TikTok. She made this video. She had clearly done other stuff. There was nothing there that showed, from the evidence I've seen, that shows that she has 100% broken the UCMJ, that there was nothing there to show that she had lied. There's nothing there to show that she should not be believed. And because she had these posts, I don't even know if they were all screenshots. I can't even verify those. All I can say is I saw the video, I saw the posts, whether or not they're true or not. There were veterans attacking this young woman, saying that she had done something wrong by the Marine that she was accusing. Um, get out of here, cat. Um, so there were a lot of people turning it around, blaming the victim. Here's what I can say: even if a woman is a porn star, uh, that does not give anyone the right to sexually assault that person. Um, Even if you're a porn star, that porn star, you assume consent. Uh, or you don't assume consent, but there's an actual contract. So there's a contract of consent with porn stars. And there's been many cases of porn stars who have been raped, and it is not right when it occurs. So to say that, well, she was posting pictures and stuff like that, I don't care what it is. She still deserves to make her claim. She still deserves to seek justice if it's determined that she was sexually assaulted. And it does not sound like in her video, nor by any statement that the Marine Corps has made, it does not sound like there is any doubts whatsoever that she made a claim of sexual assault, that the Marine, according to her, admitted it, and that the chain of command was not supportive of him reenlisting, except for when it got to the commanding general. Uh, I say that because there's a tendency to blame the victim that, well, because that woman was out drinking or was has done this with other people, she deserved it, or that was commonplace. No, that's not the way it goes. Um, and those excuses have been used far too much in the military to excuse sexual assaults. It is rampant. It is rampant in the military, uh, only because the sexual assaulters are allowed to stay. That is the problem. Now, if you told me that, okay, this Marine, she did break the UCMJ, and fine, okay, accountability. And that should really be the theme of today's video. Accountability in the military is something that should be a no-brainer. Everyone in the military is preached accountability. So if a Marine has admitted to sexual assault, why are we keeping them around? We should at least hold them accountable on that front to say, you can't stay in the organization. You have to go. You gotta go. Um, that person will still be able to call themselves a Marine the rest of their lives. They'll still have their DDT 14, their honorable discharge. Whether that's justice, it's not for me. I can tell you there's a lot of people out there who'd say that's not justice, um, especially when there's an admission of guilt. There hasn't been a court martial. It's never gone in front of any type of jury or anything. But that's what the military has been doing. And they're keeping these individuals who have multiple accusations around. What Congress should be doing is they should be doing something to address the sexual assaults in the military. They should have a database that if someone is accused of sexual assault, it goes, or even sexual harassment, something along those lines, it should go into that database. And while you may have a right to go in front of a jury or your peers, what you don't have a right to do is to command people. And there are too many commanders out there with multiple sexual assault, sexual harassment allegations. Um, we in the military use a lot of different terms, and one that I've heard time and time again is perception is reality. If you are perceived as a serial harasser or serial assaulter, that's the reality. And the military has no obligation to keep you around. And that's my point of it. And I'm seeing too many people in the veterans ranks uh, excuse just really bad behavior by these individuals. It should not be excused. It should be way too often in the military. If you do something, sometimes not even wrong, you get labeled. I once was with a gentleman who I was stationed with a gentleman who um, had been relieved of command for a very public thing that had occurred. Um, it wasn't that individual's fault, not at all, but that individual or this person was an officer. And when you're an officer, you are responsible for everything that occurs under your charge. And, in talking with that individual, even about the incident, at no time did he ever say, oh, yeah, it was BS for me to get relieved or anything like that. What we talked about was, yeah, we're officers. And you know what? We get, sometimes it's not fair, but that's what happens when the weight of the world is put on your shoulders, the weight of command is put on your shoulders. You are responsible for the actions of others. Um, and, sometimes you get relieved. Sometimes you get court-martialed for something someone else did. That's the way it goes. That's when we come in the military, that is, and we become officers, we become responsible and accountable. And that's really what's not happening here. In this case with the Marine, the individuals are not being held properly accountable. And the thing is, it is way too rampant. It's way too, I, I mean, it's disgusting. It is really just disgusting, the stuff that is being allowed to occur. And if you're not doing something to stop it, you are allowing it. You, as an officer, you are allowing it. If you're not pulling your Marines and saying, look, I will not tolerate this, and it happens and you don't take action, you are allowing it 100%. Your actions absolutely speak louder than your words. uh, I mean, the military does, they go high into the right on so many different things and just over, over micromanage, like, I'll just give some examples. In the military, you have to do human trafficking uh, classes once a year. Okay, don't don't go see a hooker. That's what it that's what it is. Don't don't pay for a hooker. So, okay, do you really need yearly classes on that? Well, apparently the military has decided that they do. But yet we have a sexual assault problem, and yeah, they're training, but they're not really doing anything to prevent it, not doing really anything to stop it, or to punish it when it does occur. So that's what's so disturbing about this, and the fact that I've seen the veterans ranks, much like with Marines United, which was a horrible, horrible thing that happened. What was that, 2, 3 years ago, where Marines and veterans were sharing pictures of women. That's the problem I have in the veteran ranks, where we are accepting this behavior. And, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, would you want this happening to your wife or your sister? It doesn't matter who it happens to. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. You have to hold people accountable. And when you're not holding people accountable, that sends the wrong message. And I guarantee you what the Marine Corps is doing with this young woman is they're holding her accountable for her video. She was forced to take it down. I have zero doubts about that. The Marine Corps is probably going to say, "Oh no, we didn't tell her to take it down." She was told to take it down. I guarantee you, that's the way the military operates. It might not have been in those words, but it would have been, that video being up doesn't really help us, type of thing. But I've seen the military victimize people and re-victimize people over and over, all because they're not holding people accountable. They're not doing the things to stop the horrible actions that are taking place. So, and I'm seeing that veterans are out there supporting bad behavior, and not just saying whatever happened to this young woman is wrong. I think we all should be able to at least agree on that. But there's a very large contingent of veterans who thought it was best to blame the victim. And I'll tell you, all the evidence that I've seen does not show anything that should suggest blaming the victim. Um, if there was some way to prove that she falsified charges, okay, then we can have that discussion. But that's not what was being brought forward. And it's very disingenuous to suggest things along those lines. So that's what I'm seeing in the veterans ranks. I really hope we can, as veterans, come together and petition Congress and the Pentagon to do better, and to take some action on this stuff. I know I'm going to keep fighting for it. And it's just it's very sad. It's absolutely a shame. I don't like doing videos on this. I like doing videos where I'm truly putting up nonprofits or veterans telling their stories. But this just it's way too bothersome, and it's way too there's just way too many people suggesting bad things about this case that it's completely unjust. And we should always want justice. So justice and accountability, I guess that's the theme of today's show. But I'm going to get off that. We'll get on a more positive note here at NRN. We are doing Military Mondays now. So if you would like to join our Telegram, you can reach out to us on Twitter. We put it out there in the Facebook group. It's been put out there. Please watch James Dunn's show. He's a really great dude. And yeah, we're going to try to do more and more things. What we see here is we see this as a movement. If there's somewhere where you think I should be publishing this or any of my other videos or any of my other content, please let me know. I'm looking at doing a couple things. We're probably going to get it. Well, we're on Telegram. We're probably going to get on Gab. So you're going to see some stuff from us out there. But I really want to make sure that we're getting to you. So if there's anything you want to see, please reach out to us. And thank you for joining us today. And thank you for being worth serving.